Hello and welcome back to, and I already forgot how to pronounce the name. Um, this visual novel. Funny enough, they do actually have a pronunciation guide as you're playing the visual novel, but that's when you're playing it. Anyway, so last we saw Tom, which I believe is this cat, was stumbling through the woods, the forest, after hearing somebody scream. Found the mother of the guy who was missing, and depending on your choice, you could either get what would be considered a bad choice or the good choice. But yeah, basically. Before that, though, Tom was spending some time with a friend from the past named David, because it turns out that the W, I guess, is pronounced like a V. So it's not Dawood, it's David. How was I supposed to know? Anyway, so yeah, without further ado, let us continue this visual novel. Also, in case you haven't noticed, I'm a little bit sick right now, so yeah. Enter. So, how can I help, Chief? I closed the door behind me. And this is one of the things that you can click on and it'll show you how to pronounce it and then like give you a little bit more information. So it's Agatha. I guess you could say it's Agatha, but Agatha. Agatha's office is well organized, a far cry from mine. It's been a while since my last visit. Maybe it'll go better this time. Have a seat, Waldner. She scrutinizes my every step as I approach to sit in the guest chair. I want you to tell me what happened there. A woman was assaulted. Waldner, I know you've been investigating Miss Novak's son. That's not really a secret now, is it? Don't you start. I don't understand what you're angry about. I'm angry because you didn't notify the police when you spotted Camille. All of this could have been prevented. What would you have done then? Arrest him? He is missing, but he's not a criminal. He wasn't then, yes, that's true. But you should have gotten the hint that something was off the moment that he came to Tom's house. Damn, Igor told her. I thought that I could trust him with this. Why did he tell her? You're playing with fire. Can't say that I'm not disappointed that Igor didn't talk to me first. I asked him to keep the information to himself. I'll have to talk with him later. We've already got 5 people missing, and now this Camille lashing out and trying to kill his mother? You've got proof it was him? We have fingerprints that match his at the scene, and camera footage of him and his mother walking together. You work fast. Where did you get a record of his fingerprints in the first place? From when he was involved in a previous misdemeanor. Ah, I remember now. His mother mentioned it. He was apprehended by the cops after beating up his neighbor, who insulted her. Still, is that really proof that he attacked her? What more proof do you need? Anything that concretely proves that it was actually him. Waldner, that's all we have to go off of. I'm treating him as a suspect till I have a reason not to. What did you learn during your own investigation? Before we get that far, I think it's only fair that we have a proper exchange of information. I help you, you help me. It's not the only case that I'm working on right now. You're making it very tempting to throw my chair at you. Understandable. I need everything that you have on the 4 missing students. Waldner. The chief rubs her temples, pressing them hard until her forehead wrinkles. Fine, I'll agree. We'll discuss that later. So Miss Novak came to you to find Camille. What happened next? Well, the case went cold at first. As with the other disappearances, I began to think that he was next in the series. I asked around town, no results there, until I went to that gas station at the edge of the town. I know the one. Carry on. The owner said that Camille comes there at least once a week to buy some basic items. Then he lingers around the area before leaving. Why would he do that? Meeting someone, perhaps? That's what I originally thought. I wanted to approach and talk to Camille during one of his visits there. But you didn't? No. Why? I was on my way back from a meeting with the previous client that day. Tom was frustrated with the missing persons cases. Agatha gives me a long, tense look. She knows very well why Tom would be frustrated. So Tomas decided to get himself involved? He followed Camille and saw him stopping by a few houses. I reach into my jacket pocket and hand her the note with the addresses written down, as well as the pictures Tom took. We don't really know why those places were important to Camille, but I'm planning to check them out. I think that I'm going to avoid sharing more. What Camille said to Tom during his nighttime visit feels important. The them part especially. That's troubling. Still, you should have come to me. You know why I didn't, Chief. She pulls out a cigarette and lights it, then waves the pack at me. I grab one, nodding gratefully, and she lights it for me as well. The cigarette's embers glows bright in the office as I inhale deeply. Camille attacked his mother in the woods. That's all we have right now. I was hoping that you could suggest why. Don't you think that it's a little too convenient to lay it at his feet? Then tell me, detective, what am I missing? Given everything that we know so far, it definitely appears that Camille was the attacker. How he approached Tom and how he was acting previously doesn't exactly paint a picture of a stable man. What worries me is that, clearly not being in the right headspace and with his mother in the hospital, he might do something reckless. I think Camille is deeply disturbed by something. What do you mean? This afternoon I got a phone call from Miss Novak saying that Camille was back home and that it was all thanks to Tom. All Tom did last night was ask Camille why he was there in the first place. And then Camille went back, lured his mother out and attacked her. I'm unsure of that, but I can't deny that it's a possibility. An old woman wouldn't go into the woods alone at night. She wouldn't unless she had a reason to. Like her son asking her to go for a walk. I think that it was more than just a walk. Why would Camille lure her that deep into the woods? To kill her, of course. Why? That's what I'm trying to establish. I doubt that's the case. Not that I have proof, only a hunch. Maybe, maybe not. With your permission, I'd also want to investigate Miss Novak's house. My men are already handling that. Then I don't have high hopes. To my surprise, she ignored my comment. You're clearly not convinced, Waldner. So, what? You think that he's being framed? When I was on the phone with Tom after he found her, Tom mentioned someone prowling around them. That would be him, trying to finish the job. I don't know who it was, though. I do agree that they could have stayed around to finish the job. Tom finding Miss Novak might have dissuaded them from any further action. So your theory is that it wasn't Camille. In that case, who would have attacked them? And most importantly, where is Camille now? I have no clue. Not yet. That's not enough. We're gonna issue an arrest warrant for Camille. Chief, I don't think... If you find anything that proves his innocence, then we can talk about it. Or if his mother clears him of the charges. She nods to herself, taking another puff of her cigarette. You know what to do. Investigate the houses and keep me informed. Igor and Boris? Well, Boris. Igor and Boris will stand by as backup. If you find anything, report it back to them. I work better without cops breathing down my neck. And I have a problem with Tomas working for you. Meaning? You know well what I can do. You could lose your license for this. Tom wanted to help. He's only supposed to help out at the office. You need to rein him in. We know what Camille is capable of. As much as I'd like Tom to play it safe, deep down I know that he won't. He tends to find trouble a lot. I understand that. Even when he's working with you, he still goes off on his own. I already told him to take a break. If I keep insisting, he might feel like I'm snubbing him off the case. Which is something that you should do. I'm not gonna do that. Then help him get a fucking license, Waldner. If you think that he has the skills for this to pay off. I've been planning to. Good. Now you better not make me regret letting you off the hook. I stay quiet, letting her anger simmer down before the conversation continues. Were you able to find any more leads on the missing students? What about the hitchhiker from 3 years ago? You don't care about that? We didn't find any evidence of a crime around this case, so we didn't intervene further. Well, that's convenient. Anyway, not gonna tell me to stay out of it. Just like your protege, I doubt that you'd listen. Touché. Well, now that I'm helping with Camille's case, I need you to give me access to... Coamino? That's a big ask. I'm sure you can do it. The more helpful she thinks that I am, the more helpful she'll be. I could share something. Eva's? Yeah, Ava. Ava's disappearance was related to the other 4. That's what I'm sure of. I think that she found something, and someone didn't like what she found. Why wouldn't she share it with you? You work together. You think that she's dead? I pause, taken aback by the question. Deep down, I want to believe that she's still out there. Sadly, it's been months without any promising signs, to a point that it's getting harder and harder to believe. It hurts more than anything to think about, as much as I'd like it to be otherwise. Did she leave any files or memos that would indicate what she might have found? Well, if she did, your men would have found it by then. Alas, all of her belongings were then found missing, if you can excuse the oxymoron. We're still investigating this accident. So I keep hearing. Another tense look exchanged as the chief stares at me, silent. It was one of the biggest fuck-ups under her supervision. She is even blinded by the fact that someone in her department might have been involved. I don't think that her documents simply disappeared. Did someone take them? Or one of my fears is that it could have been an inside job. Or maybe they were just careless and misplaced them. I have no idea which is worse at this point. Anything aside from those documents then? I tap the end of my cigarette against the ashtray, snuffing it out into wisps of smoke. I think I'll keep the rest to myself for now. I can make your life more difficult, Waldner. Difficult? I'm sure you could, but I'll have to decline the offer. I told you that I'm gonna work with you. If our partnership goes well, I'll consider telling you more. Agatha huffs audibly and stands up, clutching her waist. You can leave now. Very well. I give her a 2-finger salute as she flicks her wrists off at me in a shooing motion. Pure dolce? Waldner? Well, that went swimmingly. We had such a nice banter too. I know the chief can't touch me and needs me to solve her case. Though I should still try and be careful with how to approach her. As I walk down the hallway, I see Tom talking to Igor while David sits on one of the chairs. Hey, sorry for making you guys wait. You didn't. We just finished. Indeed, we've learned everything that we could here. Now we just need to wait for Miss Novak to recover for questioning and... He trails off, noticing the disappointed look in my eyes. His gaze is reluctant to meet mine, even as he whispers his apology. Sorry, Markus. I had to tell the chief. Igor and I have been through a lot together. We're practically known each other since I first came from Austria. A long 12 years since then. Ava introduced him to me as our police informant. He was always helpful in any case that we had going. Maybe next time ask me before you do, though. Speaking of, your boss said that you and I gotta start working together tomorrow. Wait, Did you just get recruited? No, she just wants you to tag along while I do my detective work. Just like old times, eh? I missed your stinking smoker's breath. Mm-hmm. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Drive safe. I noticed Tom staring right at me for a split second before he averts his gaze. As Iggy starts to walk off, David lifts himself up from the chair and slowly walks up to us. That was tiring. Right, let's head off. I'll drive you guys home. Yes, please. Tom just nods and walks out without a word. David follows suit. I light my cigarette as we drive along an empty road. It must have been a very stressful experience for the both of them. Especially Tom. He's already been through a lot. Where to, David? Oh, right. My place is in... Spatserova? 6th Street. Isn't your car still at... Oh god, this name. Let's see how you pronounce it. Gruber Knee Edge Verge? Gruber Knee Edge Verge? Gruber Knee Edge Verge. Okay. Gruber Knee Edge Verge. Well, I don't feel like driving right now. That's fine. I'll drop you off first. Thanks. I glance at the rearview mirror. Tom is nervously shifting in his seat, his eyes darting between the window and his phone screen. David, on the other hand, sits ice-frozen, except for his shaking knees. When I first found him, he was so anxious, he could barely utter a single intelligible word. After calming down a little, he told me that Tom had rushed into the woods alone, leaving him behind. As for what actually happened, I'm still in the dark. Tom turns back to his phone and types something, before I hear David typing as well. Hey David? Yes? His legs stop shaking as he looks at me. How are you doing? I'm not sure, to be honest. Definitely not great. I've been in scary situations before. But this one just... takes the cake. I understand. Definitely not what I imagined my first day being back would look like. Yeah, I get that. Is this town still how you remember it? Kinda. The people feel different, though. How so? The town has a lot more going on. I don't know if that's good. Yeah, a lot has happened. How about your family? Did the reunion go okay? No, not yet. I mean, I only talked to... Aliesh? 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 Aliesh Vajosik. Aliesh Vajosik. So, Aliesh. Does your dad know that you're back? I don't think he'd care. I see. Sorry for asking. Just curious. It's fine. It's nice to see you two. David turns to Tom, who is now staring out the window, his gaze empty and lifeless. Silence engulfs us. After a while, even the crickety-clack of the phone pads has stopped, both of them now seemingly preoccupied with their own thoughts. Every now and then I cough lightly to distract myself from it. Here we are. Thanks for the ride, Mr. Wallner. No problem. You'll be alright from here? Yeah. He looks at Tom, who still doesn't acknowledge that we've stopped. I'll, talk to you soon. Take care, Tom. Sure. David frowns at Tom's indifferent response before closing the door and heading off. With that, I start driving to Tom's. Everything okay between the two of you? Who? Oh, David. I don't know. It's kinda hard to tell right now. That's fair. I thought that I'd feel close to him again after our meeting. Instead, it almost felt like talking to a stranger. I think I get what you mean. Having no idea what happened between the two at the bar, I struggle to steer the conversation. Tom? Hmm? Can you tell me what exactly happened? Right. He shifts in his seat again. I don't even know how to explain it. I... A long pause. It's fine, Tom. We can talk about it tomorrow. No. The sudden firmness of his tone catches me off guard, and I half turn to him before my focus snaps back to the road. Sorry, this is something important that I have to point out. Alright. After I ran into the forest, it felt different. Weird. What do you mean? I no clue myself. I had a headache throughout most of the day, coming and going, so it could be my meds. That doesn't sound good. If his meds are giving him terrible side effects, I'm afraid that he'll be reluctant to take any at all. First I heard the yelling, then there were whispers, calling for help, which would worsen his symptoms. Whispers? I don't think I understand. Yeah, me neither. It was coming from all directions. It was hard to tell. The voices kinda sounded like a woman. Maybe like Miss Novak? Could it be the attacker's voice? Why would they call for help? The stuff Tom is saying about the whispers doesn't sound at all believable. Although... Tom would never lie about such things. He must just have imagined it due to the stress, or... Don't you think that the voices you heard could have just been your... I just told you that I've been taking my meds. Well, were you two drinking? What? I asked if... No, I heard you just fine. We had not been drinking. You think I was drunk? I meant maybe you mixed something with your meds. I'm not stupid, Markus. That's not what I was saying. You know what? I'm fucking tired of this. Great. I really handled this well. I guess we're both just exhausted from this ordeal. Tom, I'm sorry. You know I didn't mean it that way. It's fine. Sorry for snapping at you like that. I'm just pissed off because the cops asked the same fucking thing. I told them that I found Miss Novak and heard rustling noises in the bushes. Before Miss Novak passed out, she mentioned Camille. What did she say? I asked her if Camille heard her. She said no. The cops are pretty sure that was him. But... I know, but they think that it was Camille who was walking around. I definitely heard someone nearby, but I don't know who it was. I called Camille out, but nobody responded, yet I kept hearing the sounds. Despite that, I thought that it'd be safer to stay with her and wait for help. That was smart, because you didn't know who was there with you. And that's all of it. And then you found me shortly after. I see. Those headaches don't sound good. You need to discuss your prescription with your psychiatrist. I'll give you a ride for your appointment. Just give me a call. Okay. Still, we've got more important things to focus on now. Like what happened to Camille. Fuck. Now I have to break it to him. Tom, about that. I think after today you should take it easy for a little while. I don't need to take it easy. I'm fine. Listen, Tom. You're clearly not in the right headspace for this. Just spend more time with your friends. Focus on the little shop. It's safer that way. Yeah, I doubt that. Nothing. Tom keeps silent for a while, his expression showing a deep consternation. You're not trying to get rid of me, are you? No, of course not. You're a bright kid. I could definitely use your help. It's just... sometimes you gotta know when enough is enough. He squints his eyes in a grimace before he eventually relents and his muscles uncoil. Maybe you're right. But you will keep me updated? Sure thing, bud. Just chillax. Ugh, nobody says chillax anymore. Oh, darn. I've definitely missed that train then. Yep. Very well. You surely know your millennial slangs better than I do. I let out a chuckle in an attempt to brighten the mood. After a moment or two, Tom smiles back at me. We reach his house shortly after. The light in Tom's living room is still on. Carl must be awake. Tom notices it too, sitting with his chin tucked to his chest, his hands clutching the door handle, but not twisting it, as if he's trying to stall as long as he can. Um, do you want me to go in with you and explain things? Nah, don't worry. I can handle Dad. He says it with a reassuring tone, but with a too quick smile. Will you be okay? With Dad? Yeah, of course. I mean, it's not like I'm not used to it by now. No, I mean overall. Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. He sighs as he readies himself to leave. I don't know if I should tell you this since it might get in your head. Tell me what? You did good today. It was nothing. I give his shoulder a firm squeeze. Tom reciprocates with a nod of understanding. Okay, I'm gonna head home now. Drive safe, Markus. As I reach for my lighter, Tom shakes his head disapprovingly. When he reaches the front of his house door, he turns around and we wave at each other goodbye. Despite all of these reassurances, worry washes over me. What a harrowing day it's been for all of us. The lamp flickers and buzzes before a soft glow suffuses the room. I place my coat on an old sofa and then head to the fridge. There's only a few bottles of beer. I should have ordered a takeout. I grab a beer and walk to the desk and start rifling through my notes. My thoughts swirl around everything that happened tonight. Working with the cops isn't a thrilling prospect as much as I respect Igor for his work. That was a real letdown. He's still a friend, yet I feel that I might need to be more careful about what I share from now on. It hurts to think like that. I'm trying to make sense of why he'd go behind my back with it. Besides him obviously trying to solve the case. Whatever, I'm just going to ask him directly tomorrow. I need to focus. It's almost 2 a.m. Time sure flies when you don't have time. Ugh. I put down the beer bottle and search for Camille's case file in the drawer. I try to find everything that we have that is related to him and his mother. What grabs my attention instead is an old case file Ava and I worked on. Our first case together. Without thinking, I take the file. Ava was always so stubborn. She and Tom had that in common. A light chuckle escapes my mouth when I take out one of the first pictures together, just after she hired me. Moving to Poland was the best yet worst day of my life. A photo with a great Austrian detective, she said. Great detective. I take another sip of beer, then another. If only she knew that she got the worst one. I stare into the grainy and coffee-stained photograph. A reminder of the failures, not only here, but back in Austria too. I think back to what Akita asked me. My eyelids suddenly become heavier as my eyes begin to sting. Ava was the best partner that I could have asked for. I won't let anything happen to Tom. I take another sip. You'd do almost anything for the sake of finding the truth. If only you let me be there with you. What did you find? Why did you go alone? I should have insisted and been a better partner, better friend. Still clutching the photo in my hand, I wander back to the fridge and retrieve another beer. I should put it away and focus on my work. Instead, I sit there hunched over the desk, letting minutes pass, only standing up to get more to drink. I have no idea how many bottles I've downed, let alone how long I've been staring at the picture. Suddenly, a strong aching feeling scorches deep inside of me, compelling me to reach for the nearest object. The beer bottle flies across the room before hitting the wall and breaking into pieces. Fuck. Its contents spill out and pool like warm blood on a crime scene. The stench of lukewarm beer hangs in the room. I'm soon overcome by a wave of regret. Tom doesn't know that I didn't even try to stop her from going at it alone. He would hate me if he knew. I collapse back into my seat and bury my face in the crook of my elbow on the desk. I get up from my hunched sleeping posture and straighten out my spine. My back joints make an audible crack as I do so. Maybe I'm not all that different from Igor. I try to loosen up the tension around my neck and arms before remembering the office phone's ringing. Uh, Tease. I don't know how to pronounce that. And Waldner Detective Agency. Ah, Mr. Waldner, I'm so happy to hear from you again. Oh, Miss Barton, how can I help? I'd just like to mention that the photos and information you compiled together have shifted the court case in my favor. I no longer am married to Anjay, and will get half of his wealth. I can't help but yawn out loud. Well, that's, wonderful to hear. Oh dear, did I wake you up, Mr. Waldner? No worries, just a long night. Very well, I've sent you the payment, plus a big tip coming your way. She enunciates the word big and tip very slowly. That's great, thank you so much. Maybe if you're in the area, we could go grab a drink? I'd love that, but for now, I got a lot of things on my plate, you see. A drink could be nice, though I have a sneaking suspicion that there's more to it than that. Ah, yes, a detective's work never ends, I suppose. Do you need anything else? Just wanted to say thanks. I can finally sort my life straight again. That will be all. Good day to you, Mr. Waldner. It's been a pleasure, Miss Barton. Or should I refer to you by your maiden name now? You can call me Bashia. All right, Bashia. Good luck in your future endeavors. Talk to you soon, detective. Her voice lifts with a playful tone infused with a velvety, almost flirtatious timbre. I hang up. They say that the detectives always get the ladies. Sadly for the ladies, this one ain't into them. Tom would definitely hate that joke, if you can call it that. The hour hand points at 10. Shit, I need to get ready soon. Also need to relay the good news to Tom. Just need to plug my phone into the charger end. Who could that be? Only as I get up from the chair do I notice the broken beer bottle on the floor. Right. I step over the mess and head to the door. Well, someone is impatient. Before I open the door, my nose picks up a scent of something sweet and savory. Morning, Mr. Waldner. Ah, I almost thought that you're not home. Morning, Raymond. Come on in. Ah, thank you. Also here, take. He hands me a 3-tiered steel tiffin box that looks almost like a Manager Rindle. Back in Austria. Chicken adobo. Your favorite, right? You don't have to. I clutch the fat around my belly, trying to quell the noise to no avail. Yeah, you should eat. Your stomach agrees with me also. The stings agrees with anything as long as it's getting fed. Raymond simply smiles over my poor attempt at hiding the embarrassing truth. Be careful with the shards of glass on the floor. I slipped. Raymond looks down at the mess before noticing the fresh dent on the wall next to it. He pauses for a moment. Oh dear. Hope you're all right. I'm good. Phew. Be careful next time, Mr. Waldner. The tiger's face lights up with a reassuring smile. Thanks, Raymond. Also, you can just call me Markus. Oh, I see. Sure can, Markus. I place a tiffin box on the desk as Raymond makes himself comfortable on the guest chair. So, I suppose you didn't come all the way here just to deliver me breakfast, no? No, La. Markus, I actually want to know if you found out more about my brother. I visited the police station today to ask about their progress. But nothing concrete. That's why I come here, to ask you. I'm not sure if it's related in any way yet, but there was an attack yesterday. Really, ah? No wonder, La. Got so many police cars when I went home yesterday. Actually what happened? A woman was attacked in the forest. Hiya! Is she alright? She's fine. My colleague found and helped her. Oh? You probably haven't met him yet. Actually, maybe you have. His name is Tom, a black cat. He was at Ruberny Edgeforge yesterday with his friend. Oh, I remember. With the hyena fellow? Yeah, that's them. I see. The two of them. Very rowdy if I tell you. Hmm. Wonder what those two had been doing at the bar. So, about my brother. Got people still living in Coamino? Maybe they did see my brother and friends? Not since the Soviets left. That town is completely abandoned. Still waiting for written permission to investigate Camino myself. Why it takes so long? Well, first of all, that place is under ownership dispute between two parties. Secondly, the buildings in the area are unstable and dangerous to go into. Oh, I see. The police did send a search and rescue team to look far for them in Camino. Found no trace of them, though. As far as the evidence goes, there's nothing to link your brother and his friends to the area. Neither the car nor any of their belongings were found there. See? That's why I'm asking for your help. I need to confirm whether they did leave town or not. Two different witnesses claim that they saw the group simply leave town. Then, where did he go? He and his friends never came back to their university. It's been almost a year now and nobody knows anything. Raymond crosses his arms and huffs audibly. I sense his pent-up frustration. I know. Sadly, that's not the only difficult case the town has to deal with. While I feel sorry for Raymond, there is only so much that I can do, especially with the eyewitnesses claiming that they remember the group leaving. Markus, you think this town has a lot of... Sial? What's that? You know, sway, Klotva? Well, I don't believe in things like that, so I'm not the best person to ask. I don't know why, but the district police don't seem to treat the cases seriously. They do, Raymond. As much as I hate to admit it, they are trying. Who were the witnesses? Can I talk to them? Raymond, that's a bad idea. Maybe they were lying. The witnesses? That's a big accusation. I don't think that it's a good idea at all to let Raymond talk to those people by himself. Well, maybe Tom can help you. He's a town local himself. Let me give him a call. Hey, it's Tom. Sorry, but I can't answer right now. Please leave me a message. Well, he seems busy at the moment, but he can probably accompany you. Ah, Tom is it? Indeed. Can I give him your number? So he can call you when he's free? Can. I don't mind. Lach. Letting Tom help handling this could give him something to focus on and keep him away from this Camille business. The burly tiger sits quietly with his head hanging low while he bites the claws on his thumb. His brother is missing, and here he is, desperately waiting for an answer. Hopefully Agatha will speed up the approval. If today's investigation goes well, that is. Like it or not, working closely with the cops is the only hand that I've got right now. Either way, I'm not saying that I can promise you anything, but hopefully after today, I'll be in the police chief's good books. So then maybe she'll let me investigate Camino and even provide some backup. You think so? Yeah, I'm working on another case right now, and she needs me. So if that goes well, maybe she'll allow it. His face brightens up as he hears about the progress, a bit too happy since it's too early to say how it's going to work out. I hate to disappoint him, especially when chances of Camino yielding anything to help are slim. He gets up from his chair and adjusts his jacket and scarf. Okay, La. I won't disturb you or your work then, Mr. Waldner. Markus. Sure thing, Raymond. Thanks for the food. Let me put it in another... no need, La. Just eat it straight from the box. You can always return it to me next time I visit. My nod is met with a warm smile, his pointy fangs clearly visible. Eat now, okay? Or it becomes cold. Doesn't taste as good after that. Yeah, on it. As I lead him to the exit, Raymond stops before turning around, looking rather flustered. Oh, If I pay you by next week, can or not? Raymond, that's not necessary. I don't have any new information for you yet. We can talk about payment when I do, okay? Settled. In that case, goodbye, Marcus. Have a good day, yeah? You too, Raymond. I watch him walking down the stairs, feeling the knot in my stomach grow. The investigation doesn't point to any major leads. Still, I should try to keep my fingers crossed. Maybe those addresses will give anything, really. I take out my phone to call Igor. Hey, Igor, where are you? Might be running late. Boris isn't here yet. Fine, heading to Krotka. Krotka. Krutka. 16. Just get there when you can. Sure, I'll let you know when we arrive. Alright, bye. I examine the pictures Tom took to see if they match the houses indicated by the list of addresses. Wouldn't want to risk knocking on the wrong door. The first house appears neglected, its unkept lawn strewn with debris. Paint peels from the walls, revealing layers of crumbling bricks now cloaked in moss. Upon closer inspection, there was a broken window, its fissures radiating from an ominous hole the size of a tennis ball. The window frame appears to be taped in and covered with foil. I can hear music blaring out from the living room. Someone's gotta be inside. Coming! The voice of a young girl echoes from the other side of the door. Her gait makes a bouncy rhythm as she approaches the door before it abruptly halts to a cautious shuffling as she inches closer. Who is this? Good afternoon. My name is Markus Waldner, private detective. Would it be okay if I ask a few questions? The door creaks, a chain holding it from opening fully. A small raven's head pops out between the gap. The girl looks like she's about to enter middle school. My parents aren't home yet, and I'm not supposed to let strangers in. That's fine. We can talk through the door. Okay. Right. Could you tell me what happened to your broken window? Someone threw a rock a few days ago. It scared me and Mom. Dad called the police, but the thrower was gone. Might be a good idea to ask Igor about this later. I'll jot this down. I take out a picture of Camille and show it to her. Do you by any chance recognize this man? Nuh-uh. Okay. When will your parents be back? In a few hours. Dad went with Mom to the... Rehabilitation? Yes, he had an accident. What kind of accident? I don't know. Mom said Dad drove into a tree. I'm sorry to hear that. What's your dad's name? Robert. And his last name? I don't know if I should. That's okay. I think we're done here. Could you ask Dad to give me a call when he's home? I put my business card into the doorframe. She grabs it and takes some time to read out the bold text. Investigator? You don't look like an alligator to me, mister. I get that a lot. Are you okay being home alone? It's fine, I guess. I'm used to it now. Right. Take care then. I write down her father's name next to the address. Igor should know more about this accident. As I'm leaving, the girl anxiously scans her surroundings before locking the door. On to the next house. As I finish writing them my note, an unsettling sensation grips me. I pivot, my gaze darting to every shadowy nook around me. The rustling of the leaves and the chill wind is the only sound in the otherwise silent street. The idea of being trailed now would be oddly convenient. It means a person of interest is somewhere nearby. Failing to spot any pursuer, however, I forge ahead, trying to shake off the lingering presence. But even upon reaching the next house, the creeping feeling still persists. I casually glance over my shoulder. I don't see anyone. Maybe I'm letting the stress get to me too. Turning back, I examine the building. A few unopened boxes clutter the area, some stacked haphazardly against the walls. Furniture packages lie untouched outside, as if waiting to be unwrapped. Did someone just move in? The house itself is a stark contrast from the previous one, with walls that seem freshly painted. The whole place seems to be neat and clean. Nothing really sticks out. Two voices whisper from within the house. My ears twitch as I lean closer. I was expecting to hear footsteps towards the door. Instead, I hear shuffling right behind it. Realizing that they're probably already looking through the peephole, I speak up. Good afternoon. I'm Markus Waldner, private detective. I was hoping to ask you a few questions. The atmosphere goes silent for a few seconds, as I hear a set of footsteps running upstairs. At last, a middle-aged hare opens the door, wearing an ironed polo shirt tucked neatly into his khaki trousers. Oh, a detective. How exciting. My name is... Rick. Stu? Sto? Stu? Stuch? Rick Stuth? By the way, he extends his arm and we shake hands. My wife loves a good detective movie. I'm sure that she'd be happy to meet you too. But maybe now's not the time, I'm afraid. The surprisingly jovial behavior makes me lose my train of thought for a moment. Are you alright? I'm fine. I just wanted to ask some questions, that's all. Absolutely, dear sir. Are you moving out by any chance, or did you just move in? I point to the boxes outside. Oh, we just moved in 2 weeks ago. The house is still a mess. Sorry about that. He leans against the doorframe, rubbing the back of his neck. I see. Right. Have you seen this man before? I show him a picture of Kamil. His previously nonchalant demeanor disappears as his posture becomes tense. The contorted eyebrows on his expressions are noticeably enough that I expect him to say yes. No, sorry. Never seen him before. Who is he, actually? He smiles again, his hands now tucked in his trouser pockets. Well, that's why I came here. You see, I'm trying to figure out why he was inspecting your house a few days ago. He was? Oh, that is worrying. He nods multiple times. I have a feeling he knows more than he lets on. I look over my shoulder again. Is something wrong, detective? Nothing. Just one more question, if you are so kind. By all means, detective. Do you know who the previous tenant was? Your stalker could have been trying to spy on them instead. Oh, my late father-in-law was the owner. Bless his soul. Late? Yes, he died 4 weeks ago of old age. My condolences. Thank you. That's all for now. Thank you for your time. I jot down his statement before I wrap up the interrogation. Will you be coming again soon? His query makes me stop scribbling. Excuse me? Oh, I mean, for your investigation. He gives me a crooked smile while he's tapping the back of his head. Depends on what I learn. Right. Of course. Well, good luck to you, detective. Despite the answer I got, the conversation felt unsettling. I take a glance at the house one more time as I walk away. Upstairs in the bedroom window, a woman draped in a flowing lavender nightgown stands, her gaze fixed on me. Her smile gentle yet unnerving sends shivers down my spine. Instinctively, I raise my hand in greeting, only to be met with a toothy grin. She looks at me intensely with her red eyes seeming to bulge from her sockets, her white fur lends to her cold and lifeless appearance. Shortly after, her husband approaches and stands beside her. With both figures now watching me, I quicken my pace to the gate. They remain still as statues, watching from the window. My phone vibrates as Igor's name pops up on the screen. Hello, Markus. Found anything yet? A bit. Heading to the last house now. Are you here yet? Yeah, Boris and I just arrived. Right. The first house is... Krutka, 16. The kid told me her father, Robert, had an accident. Can you confirm that? The kid was a bit hesitant to talk. Sure thing. Second thing, the house had Podwill? Pod Podvalet Podvalet Podvalet. 6. The tenants are Arek Stutch and his wife. I want to know when they moved in. Also about Miss Stutch's late father, who left the house to them. I haven't heard of anyone new moving in there. I'll check it out. Right. I'll call you after I finish inspecting the last spot. I'm out. Alright, good luck. I end the call right after I arrive at the final location on Tom's list. The last house looks completely different from the previous two. It's obvious that it's been abandoned for a long time. Some of the windows are boarded up. There is graffiti on the walls and broken beer bottles littered everywhere. Why would Camille be snooping around at a place like this? I approach the front door and pull the handle. Locked, obviously. If only things were that easy. After glancing around for anything that could help me open the door, I back away and proceed to the back of the house. Luckily, the bushes are thick enough that no one would see me trespassing. I can already imagine the look on Igor's face if he received a report of a suspicious-looking trespasser only to find out it's just me. There is a shed attached to the house. The back door is unsurprisingly locked too. The shed door, on the other hand, is slightly ajar. I look around for something I could use to help me get inside. There is nothing interesting there at first glance except fresh, thick splashes of red and black paint staining the floor, mixed with traces of white. Or so I initially thought, though something about it feels unsettling. I kneel down and dab my fingers into the peculiar substance and take a cautious whiff. The smell of the paint is strong, but there is a slight scent of something else. Blood. There is some dried blood here, even with all the paint around. Did someone try to mask their tracks recently? I take a picture of the stains with my phone. Next, I pull out a small plastic bag to collect a sample. Well, I'm sure the police will gather the evidence themselves later. I can't be too cautious. The trail of paint stretches to the door leading into the house. As I try to pry the door open, it gives in with ease. Someone must have already broken in. Well, at least now I won't have to lie about it. The trail of blood continues to lead me further inside, ending in the kitchen. Empty bags of chips and plastic containers are left scattered on the kitchen counter. There's some leftover food, maybe a week old. Interestingly, some of the food packages are from Goober Ni Edgeverge. Did someone order it there? Or was it delivered here? I can't find any receipts, but I know just the right person to ask. Raymond. But that can wait. Stepping away from the counter, I head further in. I spot more blood leading me upstairs. I lift the back of my jacket and pull out my gun, flipping the safety catch off, hoping that it won't be needed. I tiptoe lightly up the steps, but the old stairs just won't shut up. As the steps creak, I stop, waiting for any movement or a noise. When that doesn't happen, I keep treading. This is reckless. Maybe I should have called for backup. Yet a quick glance upstairs won't hurt. As I walk through the corridor, all the rooms appear to be empty except one, which is where the dried blood drops end. I approach it and peek inside. No one's here. The room itself looks cleaner than the rest of the house. In one corner, there are several plastic bottles half filled with water. Nearby is an old mattress with fresh but bloodied blankets and used bandages. Someone was here recently, and they seem to have been in a pretty rough shape. Meanwhile, an old-looking backpack and a pair of binoculars sit next to the window. From this vantage point, you can easily keep an eye on the other two houses. But why would someone do that? I flip the safety back on and put my gun away. I check the backpack to see what's inside. It's just some papers with sketches of the forest, with the faces on the trees. It'd be a nice piece of art if the faces weren't so creepy looking. I flip the bag upside down, spilling the rest of its contents out. I spot something that I wish that I didn't. What the? Scattered on the floor are photos of Tom, taken at different places and at different times. Tom doesn't seem aware that he's being photographed. I spot something on the back of every picture. There are words written all over. He sees them. They see him too. They know him. Does he know them too? Over and over. The phone call startles me and I almost drop the pictures. Hello? Markus, are you okay? You've gone silent. Are you worried about me, old dog? Don't flatter yourself. Did you find anything? I gaze at the pictures in my hands. Yes, plenty. There are bloodstains in this house, and the door through the shed has been forced open. Someone definitely paid a visit. I'll call my team to collect evidence. Just try not to leave your fingerprints all over the place. Okay, I'll wait for you outside. I end the call and tuck Tom's pictures into the inner pocket of my jacket. Had Kamil been following Tom long before he realized that he was in town? And did he write those messages on the back? This is becoming more concerning. I need to find Kamil quickly and warn Tom. I check the room once more, just in case I missed something. It doesn't seem like I did. Looking out the window, I see Igor and his partner parking their car outside. Nothing left for me to do here except to talk to them. All right, the rest of the team are coming. The chief has been informed too, and she wants to meet up with you. What for? Can't you just give her the report? I suppose that she will read our report and cross-check it with what you tell her. Can't we hurry this up? The boy yawns, scratching the back of his neck. Markus, you've met my partner before? Seen him in passing, nothing more. Yeah, anyway, let's wrap this up. Enough amateur meddling. I give Igor a look. He shrugs. Right, we're still got work to do. Can't say that I'm a big fan of this guy. If the police searching for the missing people have this attitude, it's no wonder that they still haven't found any. Hey, don't give me that look. Right. Anyway, Igor, can we talk in private? Boris looks up and yawns loudly again. You ladies be my guests. I'm gonna make sure the detective here didn't mess anything up. Officer? Boris starts walking inside, almost colliding his shoulder with mine. I sidestep and walk closer to Igor. I know that look, and I honestly don't know why they assigned him to this case. That does answer one thing. What exactly? Why did your chief have to ask me for help? Igor nods, though I see the annoyance in his eyes. Markus, I'm gonna be blunt. Well, save me the trouble of asking about it. Yeah, this case is important. Any lead matters. Does it? I'm pretty sure Miss Novak did report on Camille's disappearance. Please remind me why it was ignored. We assumed that it was his habit, coming and leaving without telling anyone. Also, why didn't you ask me before telling Agatha everything? Because I knew that you'd be against it. Now really is not the time to be prideful. So you think it's about pride? Yeah, because you think that you can do our job better. But I did what I had to do. I get that, but I still shouldn't have been blindsided by this. It doesn't matter. But it does. You know Eva's files are still missing, and your people were the ones who took them. I've zero reason to trust the local police right now. You know what? If you can't trust the local police, you should at least be able to trust me as your old friend. Uh-huh. I'm gonna go meet with your boss. Talk to you later. Right. I've got a job to do. I pull out my phone and check the time. Damn, it's late already. Tom should be done with work by now. I try calling him, but the line is busy. Guess I'll try again later. That's actually where I'm going to leave it for today. Mostly because, in case you haven't noticed, I'm kind of stuffed up right now. Anyways, so we got to spend a little bit of time as Markus, who is Tom's boss. He is the lead detective in the detective agency, I guess, because Tom's mom is missing, and I think she was the lead detective. So it was her and then Markus working under her, but then, when she disappeared, it was Markus being the main one. Anyways, but yeah. he kind of gave me Will vibes, Will from the smoke room, but like in a good way. In both are detectives. Well, one is a sheriff, one is a detective, but both are doing some detective work as to the disappearance of some people in their respective locations. And considering that there was blood found at the scene, it is entirely possible that something is going on. And yeah, not exactly sure what's going on, but something definitely creepy is happening. I'm inclined to think that perhaps it's happening to random citizens, and that what Camille was talking about is that perhaps he was like looking at the different houses, because he noticed something odd about the people, about like the rabbit's wife, or the hare's wife. Maybe something having to do with either the father or the mother of the little girl, and something else having to do with the people that live on that particular street. And maybe Camille was doing his own investigation. It's also entirely possible that when Camille and his mother were walking, that both of them were attacked. So his mother was probably attacked first, and Camille ran. And he basically arrived at the place he was staying at. He was bleeding from the shed over to the house. So we still don't really know what's going on, but this mystery is very intriguing. So what are your thoughts? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play this visual novel yourself, you can do so by going down into the link in the description, which should have a direct link to the itch.io page where you can download it and play it from there, or you can just go to itch.io yourself and download it from there and play it. And they do have a Patreon, which I will be linking down as well, in case you want to support the project. I mean, this is a very good, at least from what we can gather right now, a very good, mystery thriller with a hint of supernatural, visual novel. That's always welcomed, from the usual, oh, it's a romance, or they're in medieval times and you're a human and you're doing the typical human thing. This is an interesting change of pace for me, at least. So yeah, if you like it, subscribe to their Patreon. If not, then oh well, that's fine. And yeah, so I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.